Welcome to the Piston Fanatic. I'm your host, Dave Dalton, and I'm excited to share my passion and perspective of our Detroit Pistons as we go on this fantastic voyage together. I've been a diehard Piston fan since the days of Dave Bing and Bob Lanier. I've also been the varsity basketball coach of a very successful program in northern Michigan. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening. Please subscribe. Our Pistons are the cardiac kids. Every game comes down to the wire. The Pistons lose tonight to the Milwaukee Bucks, 127 to 120 in overtime. And just like last game, it came down 1.2 seconds left. We have the ball out on the side. JB draws up a play, and we end up getting Cade lobs it to Holland at the rim this time instead of Duran. And it looks like he just missed it. Giannis made an incredible play on it, but he got called. They reviewed it. He fouled him. I thought he fouled him at the time, even though Greg said he didn't foul him, but I thought he fouled him. So they called the foul. So they're talking about it. Giannis is complaining, even though he gets calls all the time. And Holland is this 19-year-old kid. He's standing at the line waiting to shoot free throws. He's waiting and waiting and waiting. And he probably should have stepped away maybe. I don't know if it would have made a difference or not. But he's 19 years old. He has made 11 out of 12 free throws this year. He's 92%. And the first free throw barely touches the rim. He was so nervous, I'm sure, and so tight. And so then the next one was short also. So we could have won it. We had it won. Cade kind of even flipped the second one, and it almost went in when he kind of tipped it up there. But yeah, we were. It was an incredible game. We were up most again. We were way ahead of the game. At one time, we came down. Cade blocked Giannis, made an incredible block on Giannis, and he grabbed the ball after he blocked it, and Holland goes racing up the court. Cade makes this beautiful bounce pass with a little bit of English on it, and Holland dunks it, and that puts us up 65 to 47. So it looks like we're running away. So that was a big play. But anyway, got a lot to talk about. Giannis scored 59, his season high, and he was 16 for 17 on free throws. And our team was 10 for 13. And Giannis was 16 for 17. And he's 16 for 17. He's shooting 55% on the year. And if he makes one less free throw, we win in regulation. But he shoots 16 out of 17. At the beginning of the game, he scored 20 of their first 22 points or 22 of their first 24 points. And I'm not sure why we didn't double him. I mean, everybody double Cade. Why, as soon as he got the ball, why we didn't, he's not that good of a passer. Why we just didn't make somebody else beat us. We never did. And, again, they do that to Cade every time. But Cade, 35 points, had a season high. He didn't shoot that well. But we are playing without Jaden Ivey. We're playing back-to-back. And without Jaden Ivey, without Tim Hardaway, without Simone Fontecchio. And then big key play in the game is we lost our composure. And, as much as I love Duran and I love Stu, and they're tough physical guys and they're macho guys, but they lose their composure. And so Giannis goes up for a shot. Stu grabs him by the jersey and jerks down on him. And so it's a flagrant 2. And at that time, we had the game, was in our hands, and that was a big momentum changer. When he did that, it was 79 to 71. Then Giannis makes 2 free throws, and they make another shot. And then Stu, we need everybody. We're short-handed. We need Stu, and he's out of the game. He plays 14 minutes, and he just can't help himself. It just was blatant. He grabbed his jersey. Giannis is jumping, and he jerked him down. And then Duran setting a pick, and Duran got in foul trouble, and Duran did a decent job trying to guard Giannis, but he's setting the pick, and he just takes 2 hands and just shoves one of the Bucks down, and just 2 hands shoves him right in front of the refs, and there's nothing to be gained from it. It just doesn't make sense. And then he's in foul trouble. He ended up with 5 fouls, and you can't afford to make those stupid fouls. I mean, that's what always happens when most players foul out. My players, they say you just can't afford. You're going to get some cheap ones. You're going to get some fouls just playing hard and trying, but then you can't do the dumb ones. And then we needed Tobias Harris. I love Tobias Harris. He had a good game last game, but he has been bad all year. And so we need him to step up. We're shorthanded. 4 for 15. 4 for 15, Tobias Harris. And here we can criticize players, and I'm being negative about those. Well, the flagrant fouls and the dumb fouls are those are inexcusable. I mean, it's going to happen once in a while, but those Stu and Duran do stuff like that all the time. But Harris is trying to make shots. He is not trying to miss shots. When we get mad at Cade and frustrated with Cade, and I understand why you are for turning the ball over, Cade doesn't want to turn the ball over. People don't want to shoot terrible, but I'll tell you one guy that stepped up tonight, though, was Beasley. So Beasley played for the Bucks last year, and he comes in there and he is on a heater. He is just firing him in. He's getting us. He's talking trash. He's in his glory. I love. I think he takes some terrible shots at times, but I love his persona. I love his effort, his energy, his positivity. He's always upbeat. He's always going after it, and he certainly believes in himself. But he was 8 for 16 on threes tonight. He ended up with 26 points, but we didn't get him the ball in the fourth quarter. I don't know why. Don't know where he was. I don't know what happened, but he did not get the ball in the fourth quarter. And he had all those points, and he was on fire. So, yeah, it was real frustrating. You just think how one little thing could have happened. If Giannis missed one more free throw, which he's a terrible free throw shooter. He made a three, in an overtime. So it went overtime, and then they scored the first 8 points. Giannis and Lopez. So Lopez has his season high. Lopez scores 29 and hits a whole bunch of threes. Here's part of the problem. Duran is really trying to get into help on defense, and so he's really you got to drop off, but Lopez, he doesn't ever even get inside the arc. He just stands out there, and so when Duran's trying to help him protect the rim, then Lopez is available for wide open threes, so that kind of hurt us at times. But yeah, it was just real frustrating. Again, I feel bad for Holland that he missed those free throws. If it wasn't that pressure, like I said, he's shooting free throws. He's shooting threes. His 3-point percentage is horrendous, but his free throw shooting has been good. He's got good form on his shot. Sasser stepped up, man. Sasser. So we're losing this game. 25 seconds left. Cade loses the ball, but he falls on the floor and gets it. He's sitting on his butt. He whips it up to Sasser, and Sasser's highly contested. He has to duck under a guy, and he makes a three with 25 seconds left to tie the game. And we ended up stopping him and sending the game into overtime. But yeah, and also Wendell Moore. Wendell Moore played 23 minutes, 4 for 8, 1 for 2 on threes, 4 rebounds, a steal, 9 points, and we needed everybody. And so I just was amazing that we lost that game when we had that big lead in the third quarter. Like I said, we were up at least 65-47 at one point in the beginning of the third quarter. It looked like we were going to win the game going away, and then the Bucks just ended up just killing us in the third quarter. They hardly scored. The first 2 quarters they scored like 23 and 22 points in the first half, and the first 2 quarters, and then they scored like 38 in the third quarter. But yeah, hard when one guy gets to shoot all the free throws. But again, I don't know why we didn't try to make somebody else beat us. And I know it's easier said than done. Everybody in the world's been trying to stop Giannis for years. He's one of the greatest players that has ever lived. He's not a great free throw shooter, but he was tonight. And so it was just hard to take, and it's real frustrating that we lose the game the way that we did. But go back to the drawing board. So we're going to play the Raptors on Friday, the Wizards on Sunday, and then a back-to-back game on Monday against the Bulls. So I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me, but I just let you know that I'm going to miss at least those 3 games. So I'm driving down this weekend. I'm going to be going to the Cleveland Clinic. I have degenerative disc in my neck, and they're going to be doing surgery, and they take the disc out and they put plates in, and so I don't know how long I'll be staying in the hospital or having to stay at my sister's or my daughter's house. So I won't be on the air for a while, but I appreciate all of you listening. It's been a heck of a season, lots of excitement, and so we're playing with all those guys. All those guys are out, and then Cade has back spasms. The last game, Cade had to sit out in the fourth quarter, and they took him back into the locker room. They got this black thing that they wrap around his midsection. So tonight, they had during the timeout, they were putting that thing right back on him, and he played. You know, he had back spasms. 43 minutes, and he didn't shoot great. He was 13 for 34, but he was 5 for 10 on threes. 4 for 4 on free throws, 7 rebounds, 11 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. He blocked Giannis. I don't know if he blocked Lopez. Somebody blocked Lopez, but he's been blocking a ton of shots in the last 5 or 6 games. But he did have 6 turnovers. But that's almost not too many when you play 43 minutes in that high pressure of a game. But anyway, Holland um, played 29 minutes. He was 5 for 10 um, and 0 for 2 on threes and 1 for 3 on free throws. And then he had 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and um, 11 points. So he played really well. He played really well, and it's just sad that they lobbed that ball up to him. He got way up there, and he thought he got fouled, but they didn't call it at first. They went and reviewed it, but yeah, it would have been unbelievable if he could just put one. The game was over. If he just could have put 1 out of 2 in. So Tobias get 44 minutes, 4 for 15, 2 for 5 on threes. His shot is so flat, and I'm happy Bryce Simons called it out too. I don't know if everybody believes me when I said his shot is so flat, but Bryce Simons, really good guy. He's on lots of different podcasts, and he called it out, right? And so that he was shooting so flat, but he had 8 rebounds, 5 assists. That is great for Tobias for as many times as he touched it. He had a steal and 2 blocks, 10 points. But again, 4 for 15. If you're 5 for 15, we win the game. And again, you can't. Nobody's blaming one person, but yeah, lots of things. But Duran played 36 minutes, only took 4 shots, but he was 3 for 4, 3 for 4 on free throws, which he's been struggling with lately. But he made them decent tonight. 9 rebounds, 6 assists, but 5 turnovers. So 6 assists isn't great when you have 5 turnovers. But he did 1 turnover at the end of the game. He got the ball, and then Giannis comes out after him, and Lopez comes out after him, and he just can't get rid of the ball. He just holds it and holds it, and then pretty soon they end up taking it away from him. So that was obviously at a key time, so that really hurt them. So, but yeah, he had 9 points. Beasley, like I said, 44 minutes, 9 for 17 overall, but 8 for 16 on 3. So he only took 1 shot that wasn't a 3, and he made it. So yeah, incredible night. Um, and that would have been fun for him. I would have been so happy for him to come back and get the team that they could have re-signed him. They chose not to re-sign him. He started 77 out of 79 games for their playoff team last year. So yeah, Stu, he was 4 for 6, 14 minutes. He's 4 for 6, 9 points in 14 minutes, but 1 for 1 on free throws. So he had 3 rebounds and 1 block. He made a good block on somebody, and he had a really nice dunk. Like I said, Wendell Moore, 23 minutes, 4 for 8, 1 for 2 on threes, 4 rebounds, 1 steal, 9 points. I already said that, but Sasser had a great game, and ended up he didn't do much in the first half, but in the second half he really came through. 4 for 6, and 1 for 2 on threes, and 2 for 2 on free throws. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see how fast these other guys are able to come back. Like I said, we have off until Friday, which gives them only 1 more day off, and so then we play on Sunday. So I wouldn't be surprised if they held guys out until Sunday. But Fontecchio, I don't know if it's his toe. So he had surgery on his toe this summer, and I don't know if it's the same toe. So Ivey was the toe. So we saw towards the end of the last game where he came up after a drive. He came up limping, and so we were wondering about that. He also had that really hard fall. That he went for a pump fake at the 3-point line, and he jumped right up over the guy, and he came down really hard on his backside. And that's one where you could really set your hand down to break your fall and break your wrist or really hurt your wrist. But yeah, Cade kind of lost his composure a little bit with I can't remember the guy's name, but he's a jerk. He's always a jerk. I watch his games. Andre, I don't remember his name, but Cade kind of got into it with him a little bit, and they shoving each other. I thought they were going to get a technical on the other guy because he's always grabbing people, and then they didn't. But they called it a double technical on Cade. So anyway, it was heartbreaking loss. All our losses are heartbreaking except the Knicks was a blowout, but we just the guys you got to give them credit. They still battle and they fight and they keep on fighting and they don't give up. And it looks bad. And then we just somehow find a way. We got down by quite a bit at the end, and then we came back and tied it and sent it to overtime. And Cade made some big threes, and like I said, Sasser made the big three. So it's exhausting. I'm exhausted. So anyway, I hope that if you watched the game, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy this podcast. If you pray, say a prayer for me. I believe in prayer, and so I'd really appreciate that. But I just really value all of you, and especially the ones that are always listening and been listening to me for a long time. Thank you very much. But tell a friend about the podcast. Again, I won't be on till they don't have a game, and then after the Bulls game on Monday, they don't play again until Thursday. So I hope I'm home by Thursday, and so we'll see how things work out. But anyway, thank you for listening. Be the reason that somebody feels loved, and go Pistons.